Well, the plant in its initial stages started out to be just a feeder plant. We were into just filleting of fish. We had no freezing capacity whatsoever. We had a shell of a building. And we started filleting fish, had a lot of problems with getting any of the processors on the Avalon to accept our product, with the exception of one over in Southern Harbour. We give a lot of credit to him for buying our product that year. That was 1984. And we did about, I think we did about that year, 400,000 or 500,000 pounds of skin-on fillet. And we moved it to Southern Harbour, Font's Best Port Fisheries, Port Enterprises in Southern Harbour. We didn't move any other fish to anyone else. We couldn't move any fish to anyone else. After that, but that fall and thereafter, we decided we had to get more further involved, because there was a meeting held by the processors around the Avalon in the close range of shipping distance from Petty Harbour, and they had made an attempt to try and get this buyer to stop buying our product, because, as I mentioned, it was like we were some kind of aliens from outer space or whatever else, and the battle lines were drawn. They didn't know what we were. They were afraid of what we were going to be and how much of a threat we were going to be to them. So then we had to regroup and try to figure out how in the hell we were going to get government to approve a freezing processing license for this plant, because at the time there was a restriction on freezing capacity in the province as a result of the Kirby Commission reports, etc., and things of that nature. And so we had to go out and do a lot of lobbying over the winter months and try and get government to approve a freezing license. Eventually we did, because we put some pressure on as a result of an upcoming election. And we got into a full-fledged freezer operation in 1985. We started to move product in the American marketplace through a joint venture arrangement we had with a group of people who installed some machinery in the plant. That year, that was our first year into frozen production. We moved somewhere in the area of 450 to 500,000 pounds of finished product. 1986, we started to detect some serious problems in the industry with respect to the resource problems and accessing fish. It was never the problem was never in this community not being able to catch enough fish. The problem was always trying to sell the fish you could catch. 1986, all of a sudden, we were facing a different reality, and all the fish that you could bring as a result of this, bring into the wharfs as a result of this plant here, you could sell. But the unfortunate thing about it, you couldn't catch the same amounts of fish that you caught a few years before. So in 1986, I suppose, we moved from about 500,000 pounds of finished product to somewhere in the area of a little bit better than 550 or 560. 1987, we were probably up the same area, no more, no less, because of problems with the resource. 1988, I think, was the first year that we got into skin-on markets, frozen skin-on markets in the UK and skinless, boneless markets in the US. We moved somewhere in the area of 850,000 pounds of product. This year, in 1989, as a result of some projects we did, we were able to schedule our production and experiment with some holding pound project, cod trap holding pound projects. The fish that did come in early, and we were able to hold a lot of it in pens on the ocean and bring it to the plant for scheduled production. So we put through the plant 900,000 pounds of finished product, 900,000 pounds plus, I should say, and we moved a 1.5 pounds of raw material to other plants all across the island. So 1989 has been our biggest year with respect to landings and production. Now, 1986 was probably a good year in the marketplace with respect to prices, and then 1987 followed through with pretty stable prices in the American marketplace. But the fall of 1987, we started to see things go sour. So our first 2 or 3 years of operation, we had very, very low production with high prices in the marketplace. The last 2 or 3 years, we've seen the exact opposite happen in this plant with respect to our landings and our production. Our production has increased by almost 100% since the first year, and prices in the marketplace have dropped off by 50 to 60%. So it's a twofold problem. When you have the fish, sometimes you have problems in the marketplace, and when you don't have it, the problems aren't as great in the marketplace. So it's been quite a learning experience.
Everything wasn't all bed of roses. We had some complaints about this and that, and he said, "My God, hardly one of you feel like throwing in the towel." But if I look back at it now, where we started and where we're to today, and the way the industry was going today, the crisis that are in the fishery now, makes you feel pretty good to be that we're still sitting here and We've employed quite a number of people the last few years, and please God, we'll employ them again the year. We're still going to be around. And like, we're a cooperative, we're here to stay. Like, we're not just packing up and going because we made enough money. If we can get enough to keep ourselves afloat, and it'd be nice to make a pile of money, but if we can keep this business going and move fish for fishermen and employ some people, I think we'll be doing good. And I think it's worked out wonderful so far. The fishermen are pretty happy with it, and I'd say plant workers, we've had the other plant down the other end of the harbour, which has been up and down, people in and out sort of thing, and all kinds of promises. They were going to work a 12-month operation. Some people here, a few, not very many, probably left here and went down there because they want to pay more money. We only could pay according to our means. Just, we couldn't do nothing about it. We're only a small operation, just getting off the ground with a fine lot of overheads. And some went down there and telling about their 8 and 10, 12 months work, but we're only getting 2 or 3 or 4 up here. A lot of people are stuck here now. This plant's been closed down idle the last couple of years. The co-op is still here. We mightn't be paying the biggest wages in the world. We're paying as much as we can do, and at least they got a job, and the same people who were here last year will have a job to come next year. So I'd say plant workers look at it now, they must be pretty happy, especially with the crisis now. You take National Sea going, and a few other plants. I don't know what FBI is going to close down, and no, they have a job to come to, which is pretty important.
This operation is structured very differently, and with the exception of the people that are involved in the management end of the operation, that's the employees. There's nothing comes off the top of the kitty type thing. So you have the fishermen who use the operation as a service to sell where they can sell their products, and you have the plant workers who are deriving a weekly income from the plant. And you don't have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 big shareholders who are drawing 100,000 off the top at the expense of the operation. So any dollars that we do generate above and beyond what's required to operate this plant goes back into the operation. And if we don't have the dollars to do it, we continue to do the same things that we did back in the beginning, and that is to contribute all the sweat labor is necessary to make sure that this operation continues to survive. So the big benefit right now, if you look at the industry in general, you see many of the bigger operations, because of their expansions and because of their movement into technology and harvesting techniques that have cost them an awful lot of dollars, and in addition to that has destroyed the resource, not being able to sustain themselves. We're still small in comparison to most of these people. We've tried to protect the resource in this community and tried to go externally, try to have some influence on people throughout the province with respect to making them aware that as far as we're concerned we have a major problem with the resource.
I think there's lots of room for cooperatives, and there should be more of them. But I don't think you can walk in any particular community just there. There got to be some incentives there to and togetherness to really get it out there. If not, somebody's got a lot of work, take a lot of time to teach people what to do. But like I said, I think well, it's the only thing. Petty Harbour is things are working pretty. We're not now off the ground yet. We still got a lot of commitment, but we're growing and we're also adding something new to the operation. But it's a worthwhile thing, and I think there should be more people involved in it.
The co-op is doing a lot of things for a lot of people in this community, and not only co-op members, plant workers in particular, community as a whole. You have to look at the tax base in the community and the fact that if this operation, for whatever reason, given the problems in the industry today, failed, well then we would have a significant municipal problem here with respect to raising or generating the tax base that keeps the municipal services going in the community. So all in all, I have to say, looking at the industry today, is probably one of the most positive things that we have in this province.
Well, we're not here to just to make a pile of money yet. We're here forever and a day. As long as we're all fishermen that own us, so as long as we're fishermen here, the co-operative here, I guess. And that makes a lot of difference compared to a private concern.
As far as I'm concerned, there are alternatives, and I don't think those plants should have had to close their doors. I think now that the plant workers have got the message, they've got to get involved in doing the same things that we've been trying to do in this community as fishermen, and that is making sure that the right measures are taken and the right plans put in place to protect the resource, and maybe get some control of those operations themselves.